God bless. Welcome back to Twist and Shout. I'm Shar, and today I have a very interesting video for you guys, which I think all my videos are interesting, right? But I want to talk about something that came to my mind, and it was like, I could talk about that. Many of you seen my video where I had a whole rant about Bible journaling and collecting and just overwhelming myself because I'm not too ashamed to admit that when something glitters, I want it. When something's shiny and sparkly, I want one too. So I've always been like that, like, ooh. And my mom was like that. And it's like, you know, sometimes it's innocent, but when it gets to a point where you start boiling into like covetousness, like, ooh, I want that, they got it, I want one too, versus thinking about, do I need it? Do I truly desire this? Like, was this something I was thinking about before I saw you have it? And in the Bible journaling community, most of the time that's not the case. We get introduced to like a new Bible like every day, a new concept, a new tool, a new design, a new idea, and we just want to be a part of it. And like I said, some people have more self-control than others, but we know that one of my struggles is self-control. So I want to talk to you guys from my perspective in hopes that this may help someone to appreciate and love the fact that you may be a minimalist. To me, that's less of a headache, less drama, and probably inexpensive. But I'm going to just show some tools for anyone who says, you know what, I love watching Bible journaling, but I want to note take and spend time with God without all that jazz. And I'm the person for you because I spent the last walkthroughs of the Bible, meaning that I'm starting from beginning and working my way up, trying different techniques and styles. One that stuck out to me that felt right was like the bare minimum. And it's like, wow, like not only did I read in a timely manner, but I was still able to process what I read and enjoy my time with God. So I'm just going to show you some tools and some things that I have that helps get or make the job easier, and in no particular order, I guess. So let's start with a notebook. I actually did some reading in the Bible, and I actually decided to pick up a notebook instead of the actual journaling Bible. And what I found was it's less intimidating because it's a smaller space. And it's something about a notebook that makes you just want to focus on notes and not all the jazzy stuff, you know? And by all means, I'm not being judgmental because I do it all. I just wanted to point out the fact that, or encourage someone that, hey, if you're a minimalist, there's a place for you too in the Bible journaling community. I think what happens too often, we watch so many people do this, we get a standard stamped in our minds. And I just kind of want to denounce those thoughts because they're kind of negative. What works for you may not work for someone else. And I should make room for you just as much as I'm making room for what I like, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want no one to be judgmental of the person who spends hours crafting in the Bible, no more or less than the person who says, hey, I just underline and make a note or two, and that's it. Me personally, I feel like that's still Bible journaling. To each his own opinion, but this is why I want to make this video. So you may say, I got a regular Bible. I do want to be a little creative, but I'm not ready to do all the extra. That's fine. I've done that too. I have study Bibles where I just wrote notes on the side and just highlight in color. And it was still creative to me, and it still was interesting to me. And I still love the fact that I spent time with God in that way. And then again, like I said, I usually go back and forth with a notebook. Here's something that I started doing with my husband notes. I used to just write in plain black, right? And just write it on the white paper. But what I started doing later, I started writing in like a rainbow or a spectrum. And it just made things interesting. Like when I go to that page, I'm like, ooh, that page is colorful. It catches my eye. And I want to stay on that page and I want to read what it says. So that has worked for me. Something else would be creative or colorful note paper. I got this from Walmart for $2, and it's a notepad, and it has different size notes, and it's different colors. Like this one is a bullet, this one is a line with check boxes, if you can see, and then this one is just a plain old note. So depending on what I write or what I'm interested in, it may be like a bullet learning, or a method of studying, or maybe I have a long list of verses that I want to check off, or readings that I want to accomplish because of the checkbox. Or maybe I just want to flat out write something on pretty paper, and when I stick that in my Bible or my notebook, it makes things a little more interesting and colorful. Something else I want to point out is colors of inks. So this pen right here, you can literally get this type of pen from Dollar Tree now. They come with every color. And this way you can be a minimalist. Like, you can say, okay, I just got my one pen, but your one pen has many blessings, right? So you have each color, and like if you're like me, you want to match your pen to your highlighter, you have your options right here before you. And I think this is a good investment for someone who's a minimalist, because you can say, you know what? Sometimes black gets boring, maybe, and sometimes it doesn't. Maybe you're the type where you're always writing in black, but you're highlighting in color. Or you want to highlight or point out key verses. Then you can also be into flags. Flags are just sticky notes in the shape of literally flags, and you can use these to point to particular scriptures or to bookmark a certain page. And as you can see, it's an array of color. It's bare minimum, like it doesn't have words on it. It's not flashy, and they're actually, when you pull them apart, because together they're dark, but when you separate them, they're actually see-through and transparent. So that may be of interest to you too. Another thing I started doing was washi tapes. I started taking washi tapes and outlining my pages or boxing in text, and that kind of adds a little jazz, just a little bit, to your page, where you can turn to that page and say, this is beautiful, but it's not all over the place. And you may say, well, that's a little loud. Don't worry. They have thin ones, which is, this one's becoming my favorite because it's gold. They have small ones. They have different size. They have petals that look like, you can make your own flowers. There's a lot of things out there, but I don't want anyone to ever look at like the things I have behind me and stuff and just say, ooh, I want all of that, because there's a fine line between realizing this could be of interest to you versus because I see it, I want it, because that's covetousness, and we have to be very careful about that, because that's a commandment. One thing that I find myself doing often is I put my pens and highlighters in my pineapple. I grab whatever Bible I want, and then I go sit down, and while the kids and stuff watching TV and stuff, I read from my Bible. And I don't take all of this with me, and it's less stressful. I don't have anxiety about this because I'm still spending time with God, but I'm doing it in a very minimal way, and I'm more comfortable and happier that way. So, and then another thing that may be of interest to someone, someone that's minimal or whatever, just get you like a plain notepad or notebook or calendar, or a planner from Dollar Tree. They have them for $1, and you can just plan and write out, what you want to study, how you want to study. And you can also design on your planner. Maybe you say, I'm a minimalist when it comes to studying and reading the Word of God, but maybe the external around that, whether it be your planning or your notebook, you may want to be a little creative in there, and that's fine too. Like I said, Bible journaling is a broad umbrella, and I don't want anyone to ever think, oh, I have to have all of this to equal Bible journaling. And even in the Bible journaling community, you kind of get the notion like the minimalist is here, and then the extra artsy, crafty person is here, and this is the start and this is the finish line. And it should not be that way. And I'm here to tell you it's not that way. And if someone presents it to you that way, they are wrong for doing so. If you want to continue to be minimalist and be here, you don't have to worry about or press yourself to make it here when it comes to Bible journaling. As I mentioned to y'all before, I love my inspired Bibles. I think they're pretty, they're cute. I love coloring, but there's times where I feel like that's overwhelming. I just want a pen and paper, and I do that. So you have to be careful to not overwhelm yourself and stress yourself out to the point where you're no longer spending time with God because you thought you wanted something and it turns out that it was just pretty to look at, And that's what I find myself doing. Like, I find myself watching videos and admiring what other people do, but loving what God has given me and what's comfortable for me. And right here lately, I've been really happy, and I've been reading a lot more. So if you don't hear anything else I say, please do what's best for you. And I get you. Some people say, well, how can someone say that if they're always showing me stuff? Which is why I try not to be like, look. Like, I may do like a video concerning a matter or subject like tabbing or something, but I did my videos just showing which ones I have and my opinions about it. But as far as just like turning the camera around always and showing you everything that's on my desk, I'm not about to do that. Now, like I said, if I'm focusing on a matter like washi tape, I may say, here, look. But that's it, because I do get like that. Like, I watch videos and I say, wow, I want that. And then I go get it and realize I don't want that. I know when I first was trying to find a new Bible journal to continue this in, I went crazy. I got all of these Bibles. I ended up giving some away and blessing people with some, of course, like my Inspired Praise Bible, prayer, my Inspired Prayer Bible. Y'all know I love that Bible. It's gold, it's pretty. I loved it. I studied in it. I actually wrote notes and stuff in it. But my mom saw it and she loved it. And it was like, you know what? Giving it to her is a blessing to me, because one, I know it's going in good hands, and I know that will, because she's like me, she like color and things captures her eye. I know that would help her to engage in her word more, especially being an older woman and having troubles with her eyes and stuff. That type of Bible and layout will probably help her to focus on one thing at a time. And if she is bored or whatever, because she got a lot of time on her hand now, all her children are grown, she can just, do her thing in there and spend time with God. And that makes me feel good. This is why I started giving some of these away, because it's like, if I know if you get this Bible and you want to, it draws you closer, or you want to spend more time in your Bible, by all means. I gave my sister one, and it's like, wow, you had no idea, because she would never thought to get one for herself, because she's always giving. But you never know, introducing something to someone may actually bless someone to go deeper. And now she's reading, she's coloring. Like, of course, the coloring and the pictures got her at first, but then she started actually reading through her Bible. And that makes me feel good better than anything else. So just remember, a minimalist is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing in the journaling community. It's not a bad thing when it comes to other aspects of your life. Just do what's best for you and work with that instead of against that. Like, don't let no community of anything cause you to think that you're less than. So there you have it. So I absolutely love you guys. Thank you so much for listening to me. God bless. Take care. Bye.